Alright guys, who can give me their idea of a captain? Who can give me their idea of a captain? Kyle said a leader.
Person in charge.
Person in charge. Honesty. Is a captain honest?
No.
Sometimes.
Pirate.
Sometimes. I heard a pirate. We're talking about like a driving ship, a boat ship. Anybody else? All right, who can give me a fact about Abraham's Lincoln or death?
His coffin's been moved 17 times since he was buried.
His coffin has been moved 17 times since he's been buried. That's a lot. Whenever I die, y'all better just all leave me alone. Let me rest.
Rest in peace. Why did they move his second?
What else?
Lincoln almost didn't go to the theaters.
So Lincoln almost didn't go to the theater.
But he did.
How did he die? By who?
John
John Walt's booth. Where?
Fourth theater.
Where's Stephen? Okay, good. All right, so today we're going to talk about "Oh Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. So, "Captain, My Captain" is an elegy. Can anyone tell me what an elegy is? Does anyone know what an elegy is? Okay, so an elegy is a poem that is normally written about someone's death, their memorial, their funeral. In last period, someone said a eulogy, and it is similar to a eulogy, but it's a poem commemorating their death. Okay? So, "Captain, My Captain" is an elegy written by Walt Whitman in 1865 to commemorate the death of President Abraham Lincoln. It was first published in sequel to Drum Tabs of 1865, which is a collection of Whitman's poems inspired by the Civil War. The poem, "Oh Captain, My Captain," is definitely one of Whitman's most popular, even though it's conventional in meter, form, and subject. Although some critics have also suggested that Whitman regrets writing this poem, it still does not change the fact that it's one of the most quoted and one of the most popular poems of Whitman. Okay? So the rest of this page has some example questions on it. Everything on this paper we're going to talk about when we start reading this poem. I just want you guys to try to fill out those examples as we're going. And at the very end, we'll go over the questions, okay? Alright, so we're going to read the poem first. "Oh Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. This ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Oh Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills. For you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, the arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring our bells, but I with mournful tread Walk the deck, my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Okay? So this poem is about Abraham's death. It's about the Civil War being won by the Union. Does anyone know what rack means? The ship has weathered every rack. So if we're talking about something as weathered, it's been through something, right? It's been through some tribulations, some trials. So rack is storm. So the ship has weathered every storm. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting. Who can tell me what exulting is? The port is near, the bells I hear. So what do bells mean? It's a happy sound though, right? It's like a celebration sound. So the people all exulting. So what could exulting mean? Excited? Cheering? Happy? So I'm going to say cheering. What tone do we see in these first four lines?
Positive.
A positive. We hear cheering, we hear bells, we hear the trip is done, the prize is won. So it's a positive tone in those first four lines. What do we see right here? But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, were on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. What kind of tone is that? It's sad, it's mourning, it's grief. Alright, so we already wrote cheering here. So this is also the theme of this whole section, right? And then here, we see grief. Why, when you're writing an essay, do you change paragraphs? What does a paragraph switch mean? Change of subject, change of tone, change of mood, but there's a change. So every time the stanza switch, there's a change in emotion. So from here to here is stanza 1. What is, but oh heart, heart, heart. What is that? What kind of literary device is that? Repetition. It's repetition. Oh heart, heart, heart. The port is near, the bells I hear. What literary device is that? It is assonance, but what else is it? The port is near, the bells I hear. Rhyme. What kind of rhyme is that? Internal. I heard it somewhere. So this type of rhyme is internal rhyme. And it is absence. We're going to go down to the second stanza, which starts with, "Oh, captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores are crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager spaces turning. Here, captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead." That is stanza 2. We see "for you" a lot through the beginning of the stanza. What is it whenever we repeat things over and over again? What other literary device do you see in this line? Alliteration? Absolutely. "For you the flag is flown." Alliteration right there with all the F's. There's one more. What other literary device, what other structure do you see in this line? "For you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills." First, what is a bugle? What is a bugle?
It's like a horn.
It's like a horn, it's like kind of like a trumpet. What about trills? It's a sound. It's a high, I wrote it down for you guys, it's a high vibrational noise. So it's like a hum, it's a sound. Alright? So what part of speech is the flag? Say it again? A noun. So the flag is a noun. How about is flung? What kind of part of speech is that? Is flung. It's not a noun. It's a verb. Is flung. How about the bugle, which that was a trumpet, so what part of speech is it? A noun. And trills? It's a verb. So what type of structure would this be? What is the author doing here whenever he's trying to make a sentence look similar to each other? Say it again. Parallelism. So we have "for you" noun verb. "For you" noun verb. So that's parallelism. In this stanza, There's another rhyme, another alliteration, another alliteration. Who can find it for me?
Does it have to,
Other than, for you the flag is flung.
does it have to be in the
We're not looking at rhyming, I'm sorry, we're looking at alliteration. Alliteration. Does anyone see it?
Underneath it, and ribbons wreaths.
Say it again.
Underneath it, ribbon wreaths.
Ribbon grease. So why is that alliteration? Xander, why is that alliteration?
Because the R sound.
The R sound. So it doesn't have to start with an R, but it sounds with an R. So that makes alliteration. Right here, Whitman calls the captain, which is Abraham, father. Is Whitman his son? So why is he a father? What could Abraham be the father of?
The nation.
The nation. More specifically, the Union, right? Because when we're talking about the Civil War, so not only is he the father of the whole nation, he is specifically the father of the Union. What could he mean when he says, "It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead"? So what's he saying?
It's not real.
He's hoping it's not real. He's hoping that it's a dream. He's like, oh, it's a dream that you're dead. What tone do we see through stanza 2? Is he happy? Is he grieving? He is grieving, right? But the bells are on the shore, so what are the people doing?
Celebrate.
They're celebrating. So the people up here are celebrating. And it's almost like Whitman is begging Abraham to wake up. The flag is flung for you. The bells are here for you. Alright guys, we're going to go down to the third stanza. So the whole rest of the poem is the third stanza. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored, safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor's ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. What literary device do we see here? Still and will. What kind of arm? How about 7 and 1? Say it again.
Same thing.
Same thing. How about the fearful trip and the victor ship? It's not alliteration. So these were what? What were these for? How this one? Earlier, I got you guys to explain to me what this word means. Who remembers? What does exult mean? Cheer. So we're back to that excited, happy, celebrating people on the shore. Okay? He says, but I, with mournful tread. But I with mournful tread. So the people are celebrating on the shore, but he is sad. He's mourning the loss of his captain. So here, Whitman is trying to make a point. He's trying to make a point. What do we say, I'm sorry, what is it called when an author gives you two ideas, puts them beside each other to highlight the difference? What do we call it when an author puts two things or two ideas side by side to highlight their differences? Say it again.
Juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition. Can you tell me what is juxtaposition? In this poem, what is he comparing? Does anybody know what he's comparing in this poem?
His feelings to theirs.
His feelings to theirs. That's very accurate. So like I said, he's saying the people are cheering, but I'm mourning. So I'm going to call it public celebration versus private grief. So Whitman here in this poem is trying to explain that the nation of the United States is hurting. They're grieving not only the loss of Abraham, but the loss of all the soldiers. So what he's explaining is that Abraham's death, the grief of Abraham's death, cannot be separated from the victory of the win of the Union. You see how those two contradict each other? How are you supposed to cheer while you're crying? He's saying those two cannot be separated. That the idea of the Civil War is sad while they still won. How many times have we seen this line in the poem?
End of every stanza.
At the end of every stanza, so we say it 3 times. Why do we repeat things?
Emphasize.
To emphasize. He's trying to make sure that you understand the captain is dead. So he says it over and over again. He is falling cold and dead. Are we talking about a real ship? What are we talking about then? We're not talking about a ship.
America.
We're talking about America. We're talking about the Union specifically. Okay, so the voyage that the ship went on is what?
Civil War.
The Civil War. Who's the captain? Abraham. So what literary device is it when an author is comparing two things. He is saying that the captain is Abraham, the union is the ship. A metaphor. What type of metaphor is it when it is all the way through the poem? Say it again. Extended metaphor. Extended metaphor, sort of. Why are the people cheering right here? What are they cheering on? Why are they cheering? Are they cheering because the captain's dead? The war is over. The war is over. They're cheering the win of the Union. Why is the narrator, why is the speaker mourning?
Because his captain is dead.
His captain's dead. Alright guys, so do you remember the paper I gave you earlier? I want you guys to flip it over. And we're going to do another ticket out the door like we did last time. In one sentence, I want you to explain to me the extended metaphor of this poem. Okay? So in one sentence, explain to me the extended metaphor of this poem. Right.